We're working towards a very good quality of life for our pilots. I being a pilot, our director of operations being a pilot, our director of maintenance is also a pilot.
Most pilots don't understand what career opportunities are available in the world of aviation. They're making career decisions based on advice from friends or posts on internet forums, meaning they are taking huge risks with their livelihood without having all the details. This podcast was created to help you understand the aviation industry so you can find your dream job. Let's get ready for Pushback. Here's your host and my dad, Nick Fialka.
Hey, pilot, what's up? It's Nick. I've missed you. Man, it's been a long time since Thursday, and I am so glad you're back with me. Today, we're talking about a company called Volato, a Part 135 carrier. I'm talking to Azim Sumar. We just dive deep into the organization. It's a fun company. They do a lot of great flying. They fly Honda jets and Gulfstream G280s, and I love it. I think it's a fantastic company. They've got really cool tail art too on the little 3 leaves. I have their sticker on my podcast case. I love it. Every time I see it, I'm stoked about it. But this is such a great conversation. I appreciate Azim coming in and really giving some great insight to this organization. If you want to know more, all of his information is in the show notes, and I think that it's going to be a great listen. And last but not least, let's have a quick word from our sponsors, because without them, we wouldn't have this awesome podcast. Hey, pilot, it's Nick. I want to tell you about a great friend of the show, Timothy P. Pope. He's a financial planner, and he's completely focused on the professional pilot. He's the kind of guy you want to go to for real talk to help you figure out your financial future. With so many upgrades and so many transitions and so many things going on, you owe it to yourself to give him a call. He'll help you design and execute really smart financial planning strategies, whether it's retirement planning, investment management, military transition, tax planning. He's a great financial planning partner. Timothy P. Pope, CFP, helping professional pilots make the most out of life. Give him a shout. All the information's in the show notes. You should definitely tell him I told you to call. All right, pilot, we have a real treat today. Azim Sumar from Volato is here. Azim, how are you, man?
I'm very well, Nick. How are you?
I'm awesome. I'm excited to talk to you today. I'm excited to learn all about Volato and your organization. And anytime I have a conversation with a fractional owner organization, it's always so interesting to me because it's so unique and it's so interesting that there's just such a diversity in what you do. So can you walk me through what your position is in the organization, and then let's talk about the company?
Sure. Well, thank you, Nick. And thanks for chatting with us. This is exciting. It's still new for a lot of us to spread the word around. So my position in Volato as a whole is a director of training. I'm also acting as a chief pilot and director of operations for one of our other certificates, which is another story, but we're going to transition everything to one. So in a nutshell, I have a very hybrid position where I work with our operations team, our maintenance team, and run the training department, as well as interact and manage our pilot group or our pilot cadre. My department consists of, obviously, the assistant director of training, and then I work directly with 2 assistant chief pilots who then filter through down to the pilots. We have 2 teams right now, but as we grow, we're going to have more and more assistant chief pilots because of our new fleet that you've heard that we put in another order of 25 aircraft with Honda Aircraft Company. My department also does all the initial training. We also schedule the training with our contract training facilities such as flight safety, CAE. So we track all of that. We do some of our in-house training as well for our instructors, our check airmen, and our SICs. So in a nutshell, it's very hybrid. It's very dynamic. It needs to be versatile where I can chime in and take over from different departments and help out in other departments as well.
So when you're talking to a pilot who maybe has not heard about Volato, how would you describe the organization?
So the organization we're way past I always say our infancy stages. We don't need anybody to help us run it. We're running it ourselves. It's a well-oiled machine. It's more of our youth coming to our adult stages. Predominantly a fractional ownership model company. We also do charter on times when the owners are not flying our aircraft. We have also now acquired another company called GCA, and now we have just done our Volato management side of things, where we also have airplanes that we manage for people who don't want to charter them. They also don't want the headache of managing the maintenance and the training and the insurance. And so that's what we do as well.
Got it. So fractional and charter and aircraft management, when you are looking for a pilot, and I'm assuming you guys are hiring right now, is that a true statement?
We are.
All right. What kind of flying can a pilot expect that's coming there?
So on the Honda Jet fleet, it's very simple. It's a short haul aircraft that we use for north and south operations. Sometimes we'll go transcontinental with a fuel stop. Our schedule is very manageable. It's different. We a lot of don't like to use the regulations as our baseline. We'd like to do more manageable schedules where we only schedule 12-hour days rather than the full 14 hours. Oftentimes it's even less than that. So you might have 3 or 4 legs in one day. You might have 1 leg. So we're working towards a very good quality of life for our pilots. I being a pilot, our director of operations being a pilot, our director of maintenance is also a pilot. So we bring that familiarity of what we have been through in the past that we didn't like to Volato that we don't want to do.
Yeah. Now, help me understand, like a couple different companies have different structures. If I'm a pilot, I live out on the West Coast. Is it a company where I can commute in and meet you guys somewhere, or do I need to live in a base?
No, we don't have pilot bases. We thought about getting pilot bases, but with how we found our fleet to be consistently and constantly floating around, it didn't make sense to have a pilot base. Our only pilot base right now is St. Augustine, Florida. Everybody else is home based. So you can live where you want as long as you're within or less than 2 hours from an airport that has over 3 scheduled airline services.
Got it. Is the company buying a ticket for the pilot?
We are. Yeah, we have a full scheduling team, logistics team that handles everything.
Got it, man. So we're kind of floating through, right? We've got these new shiny Honda Jets. You guys are buying a whole bunch, 25. You announced it a few weeks ago,
yes.
As of when we're recording this, at least. And as it's coming online, what positions are you hiring for? Are you hiring for first officers? You're looking for captains? What does that look like?
We're hiring both. Our ratio is 3-2. We're 3 PICs, 1 SIC, 3 captains, 2 FOs. So we're looking at least 25 aircraft to be crewed, another 25, including what we have, 15 right now. So that's almost 200 pilots.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't do math, but I'm sure it's pretty close.
Yeah, we may consider 4, depending on if we get an optimized schedule. But our ideal number is 5 to an aircraft.
And so how did you get recruited to work here?
It's all about making connections and knowing people who know people, friends who know people, friends who want to work with you, continue to work with you. I ran into Matt Leota and Nicholas Cooper at NBAA 2 years back and introduced by Honda, a friend who works at Honda. And then one thing led to another. We started discussing, and I liked Matt's vision, his philosophy as a businessman, and his eagerness to be giving me the autonomy to come in and really get this operation going.
Yeah, it's really interesting. I talk a lot about the importance of networking and the importance of your reputation is the thing that is going to be a huge part of your life, especially in this world. Because as vast as it is, man, it is a small pond with a lot of big fish in it. And so if your reputation is such that you're a known quantity, I mean, that's just how it happened. It's very serendipitous sometimes. So you've come in, you've had a lot of work doing these training pipelines, getting these pilots on board. What is it that you are looking for in a pilot? If you're going to, let's talk about the captain and then let's talk about the first officer. What are you looking for?
Ideally, we're looking for somebody who has the experience on light jets, somebody who has been on the 135 charter operations, 91 operations that are similar to what we do. 121, which is the airline, and 135 is pretty stark difference. But we still hire. We don't look at who you are. We're looking at who you are. We have a panel of interviewers that come in and look, and each one of us decides and sees differently. You can see something I miss. We're looking for guys who have the drive to be in a company that's new, that are adaptable to changes, which we will go through. It's natural for a company that is on the upward movement to keep changing their processes and procedures, and somebody who's willing to help us grow with their background, with their skills. Attitude is big, customer service is big for us. Obviously, personality and presentation is also key.
Yeah,
So in a nutshell, we're looking for the whole package.
Yeah, everything. Give me the perfect pilot with the best smile and the best customer service.
Right.
So I think one of the interesting things you brought up is that flexibility to work for a new company, because as you establish processes, right? Like you've got this one process for how you do business. Well, the pilot on the line is going to be like, he's in the trenches and she's ready to like get in there and do it. And they could see like, hey, wait a second, we're supposed to be doing this one thing, but if we do it slightly different, it will be that much more effective. And so what does that look like? Can you give me an example of something where that has happened in the recent past?
Yeah, technology is one of them, right? We get all these young and upcoming crew members that are just whizzes at this new technology stuff.
Do you have TikTok in the plane?
And we don't. I'm sure somebody does. I'm sure there's a pilot that's doing it. We just don't track that. At least we haven't been. But they'll come and help us automate some of our procedures and our processes. Guys who just want to simplify things. Aviation is such an archaic system that technology is just now coming into aircraft, and even for pilots to adapt to new things is different. So some of our younger generation pilots get to really educate some of us on how to make our life easier by automation. So that's been very refreshing to see. Experience. Guys coming out from larger outfits, airlines, even outfits such as NetJets and FlexJet, they come and tell us, hey, this is a process we had. As we grow, this is something you want to implement. So we're very open to those kind of suggestions and ideas.
Yeah, I think that's important. And that flexibility and that ability to pivot really creates an opportunity for growth and also creates an opportunity for collaboration that probably doesn't exist on the more established organizations, for sure.
Right.
And it's probably a pretty small organization, so everybody kind of knows everybody as well. Would you say that's the case?
It is the case. And for as long as we can, we want to continue doing that. We want to keep that synergy, that camaraderie. The first thing we ever hear coming from larger outfits is, that was just a number. And we want to not do that. That's what I'm looking for, somewhere where I can be me, I can be Nick, I can be Azim, and not employee number 350 and 400. So we're going to continue doing that as long as we can.
Yeah, I think that's a testament to the family dynamic of the organization. And that's when we met at the convention, like being able to have that conversation and introduce people to the new company, that is going to really propel you guys. So what kind of minimum qualifications are there for a pilot that's looking like an SIC looking to come in?
Yeah, so our minimums are on our website, but it's 1,000 hours for an SIC total time. We'd like to get somebody who has jet time, has been in an aircraft that is similar to what we have. 250 multi-engine time is preferred. If they come with quality jet time, then we can always ask for a waiver. And we have.
Yeah, and a lot of that has to do with insurances and things like that.
It does, absolutely.
To keep that certificate going, right?
That's right.
Yeah. Now, what's a training profile look like? If I'm a new hire and I'm going to come in, I've never flown the Honda Jet, what's that? Am I going to Greensboro, North Carolina to sit in the factory, or what am I doing?
Eventually, yes. So our training program requires us to do company training first. So we bring you into St. Augustine is where we've been doing a lot of our training, because the majority of our people are there and our facilities and maintenance is there. And it's St. Augustine. It's nice to be that. It's very quaint and it's not busy. So our induct lasts between 6 to 8 days, depending on your experience. And the SICs inevitably come in and we give them our in-house SIC training, which is about 3 days of flight training after getting the company portion of training completed. And then we get them on the aircraft and give them, you always have that tunnel vision. And then as they fly more and more, they get more and more experience, more confidence in there. And then as we get more and more training slots come up with at flight safety, then we slot them in for the type rating at a contract facility.
Got it. That's cool. Now, are you looking for pilots that are going to be at the company for a long period of time? I know some organizations know that they're going to be churning through people, giving them an opportunity to get some flight time and get moving, or is it something where you'd like to have people for a significant period of time?
That is the intent. It's ideal for us is to have longevity. And when I first started here, or even other companies that I've been to, the intent is to have a company where everybody who's on the outside wants to come in and everybody who's on the inside wants to stay inside. We're looking at everything that encompasses a company to be that company.
Yeah. So, all right, let's talk brass tacks. Like, what kind of income can we make, as whether it's a captain or a second?
Yeah, our SICs are at $75,000 a year. And you're capped out at that, at least for now, because our intent is to get you to the PIC captain position within a year. And that starts at 150. And then it goes up to 170,000 for the next year too.
Okay.
We're working on 3, 4, and 5. And soon after that, we're going to have a 10-year program.
Man, that's awesome. Is this really, I guess my question is about upgrade time, right? Like, how long are we sitting here as an SIC? And then, like, what are the wickets that you've got to pass to be able to upgrade?
Yeah, wickets, that's a familiar term. I played cricket for a hobby. So we don't have a time limit. There's several things that you need to meet prior to getting that upgrade. One is obviously meeting the 135 requirements of your ATP, minimum flight time there, the insurance requirements, and then, of course, ability and your skill. That's why I don't want to put a time limit on it, because then that's a hard set rule and an expectation. And if you need more training or you're ready sooner, then we have to stick with that baseline rather than be flexible. We've upgraded people sooner than we thought we would because of their ability and their skill.
Yeah, that just goes to show, as you are a professional in the aircraft and your reputation starts to precede you, you'll get that opportunity. If you hit it hard, you're going to get the opportunities in front of you early.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So one of the things we were talking about, probably my favorite thing, is, can you have beards?
We can. Yeah. Like I said, they have to be presentable. We have a uniform policy that's coming out, so that will kind of outline the beard policy, so as to speak. But no, we're not the company that you've got to be clean shaven every time. Just be presentable.
Listen, I would be the first person to get counseled if I worked there. When I show up day one and I try to have a beard and it's just patchy and it just looks terrible. You'd put your arm around me and be like, listen, man, maybe this company's not for you. You got to get this beard out of here. Gosh.
Yep.
Man. One thing you said, you just kind of mentioned a minute ago about playing cricket, the international aspect of the organization. The people from the organization are from all over, and you are from all over as well, and have a great wealth of background and diversity that you bring with you. And I love that, because most people listening to this are in the United States, and I bet many, 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 many people are not familiar with cricket and wicket and all those things, but a huge international sport. So that for sure is the fact that you're going to get a great mix of people and a great mix of perspective. So that was so fun to hear. Just kind of like,
yeah. You say that, but on the same token, I always say it's such a small world.
It is.
And I see that more in our ladies and gentlemen of service who have traveled a lot, that I find them so many times. They're even guys who fly for survey. They've flown into Africa and they talk to me about cricket. I'm like, oh, wow. And since we moved to Florida, there's about 30 or 40 teams that actually are playing in Florida, one out of which Volato is actually a sponsor of.
That's what I'm talking about. Let's go.
Yeah.
Let's get listen, go to Volato, learn how to play cricket, learn all the different ins and outs. And it's quite an exciting sport. Once you start wrapping your head around all the rules and it starts to make sense, it's kind of like when Neo saw the Matrix for the first time. He's like, oh, it is.
Yeah.
Man, I love it. So how can people reach out to you? And if I'm a pilot and I'm interested, like, what do I need to do?
It's very simple. We have LinkedIn ads. We have climbto350.com. We also have JS Firm. But the faster way to do it is just go to our website, to our careers page and put in an application, and it comes directly to me.
That's awesome. Well, tell them that Nick sent you over, and that'll be a good thing.
Sure. Yeah, it's www.flyvolato.com/careers.
Cool. And I'll put that in the show notes. I'll put all the good contacts for the socials and everything else down there. So it'll be one click away so the pilot can just jump on there. Yep. Azim, thank you so much for joining us today. Thank you for spending time with me and kind of giving that value to the pilot that they need to understand the organization. If you guys want to fly some 135, you want to have a big impact on a dynamic company and that will listen to you, this is the place, right? So thank you so much for spending time with us. And it was awesome. This is great. We'll be sending all our pilots your way, my man.
Nick, thank you very much for your time. And lots of companies say that we built a company made by pilots. Well, our company is also made by pilots, but pilots who care about pilots is the difference that we bring.
Yeah.
So just reach out to us, and then I think you'll have a lot of fun.
Couldn't have said it any better myself, my man. Thank you so much. And we'll send you as many people as we can. You're the man.
Thank you, Nick.
Hey, before I let you go, I need to mention one thing because a lot of people are asking me, can you do anything? Can you help me with this? And the answer is yes. At Spitfire Elite, we will make more millionaires this year than Major League Baseball will make in the next 5 years. Our company actually does this. It's called Spitfire Elite Interview Consulting. And you can find us over at spitfireelite.com. Our clients, they call us the easy button for interview prep because everything you need to crush your interview is there in one spot. Whether it's application review or interview prep, all of it is covered. We've helped thousands of clients who are now flying at their dream jobs because our coaches gave them the one-on-one feedback that they needed to succeed on the biggest day of their life. The best part of Spitfire is our community. All Spitfire clients will get access to our private chats where they can work with each other and they can work with our coaches and get the latest information on all the airlines. If you'd like to make sure that you are 100% ready to go on your big day, there is only one choice. Everything you need is in one place, and I think it's pretty affordable. You'll have to take a look for yourself. Just go over to spitfireelite.com and check us out. Use the coupon code podcast and it'll save you 10%. And by the way, I will see you on the next episode. The statements made on this show are my own opinions and do not reflect, nor are they under any direction from my employer.